Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the first race in the 2016 NRLOA Kubota Sports Car Championship. We are here at the Riverside International Raceway for the 90 Minutes of Riverside. Yes, a 90-minute race here today around this 2.62-mile road course in Riverside, California. This track does not exist anymore in real life, however, it is a historical racetrack, and the racing here is fantastic. A really winding racetrack, wide sweeping corners, and a lot of opportunities to pass here. But I will say, as the race does go along, it will be harder for these guys to pass as the race does go along. Of course, they'll spread out. But the thing about these endurance races this season here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship that's really going to play into who wins these races is the pit strategy. There are pit stops in these races, and those are going to be what determine who wins this race and all the races this season here this season. It's 76 laps around this road course. That's quite a long time though, and it will take 90 minutes, at least 90 minutes, to complete this race. So it's 76 laps no matter what. We could actually possibly go under 90 minutes, we could go over, but it is a 76 lap race, and that is the official measurement for the amount of laps run, because, you know, we kind of hard to do a timer. I want an official finish for this one, and that's what we're going to do. Anyways, a couple things to point out in this race. The cautions are not on, so whether or not these guys crash, they are not going to bring out the caution because the cautions are off. And the reason why the cautions are off is because the caution periods that we can have at these road courses can really take away from the racing. We do not want to do that. We want to be green flag from start to finish for these endurance races. And that way, strategy comes into play, and it's very, very fun to watch. Very exciting. Anyways, another thing to point out as well, 7 guys failed to qualify for this race. If you saw qualifying yesterday, you know who they are. Of course, I will mention them later on as we finish the starting lineup. But still, there are going to be 7 guys who failed to qualify for each of these races here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. And I would like to apologize for not really pointing that out too clearly. Some of you might have missed it. So my apologies to those guys who missed races this season. I should have kind of let you guys know a little bit better, but that's just the way it is. If you do finish in the top 36 in this race, and then after Watkins Glen you're in the top 36 in points, you are good to go for the next race. But if you finish in the top 36 for this race, you are going to be racing at Watkins Glen no matter what. You're locked in the show if you finish in the top 36. But the other guys are going to have to qualify with those 7 who failed to qualify for this one, and the top 6 from those 13 will race at Watkins Glen. But that is almost 2 months from now. That race will be on October 29th. We got Yas Marina Circuit, November 25th or November 26th, one of those 2 dates. And then December 31st will be the finale of this series at Le Mans. This race is 90 minutes long. Watkins Glen's 2 hours, Yas Marina's 90, and Le Mans is 2 hours. So these are going to be long races, and they're going to be really fun for me to do, and hopefully really fun for you guys to watch. Starting on the pole for today's event is Max Newworth. If you saw qualifying yesterday, you saw he clocked the fastest time in qualifying. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here at the Riverside International Raceway so we can get the 90 Minutes of Riverside started here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship opening event. And on the pole, like I said, Max Newworth in the number 49, I should say, not 45. Starting alongside him, it's the 04 of Michael DeFeo. He grabbed the second fastest time in qualifying yesterday. We have ourselves the 45 of Christian Masters, starting alongside the 56 of Josh Crash in row number 2. In row number 3, it's Tyler O'Riddy in the number 9, and the 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. In row number 4, we have ourselves Nick Smith, who won the first ever race this year on Napa Fan. And I'm mentioning that because the final race of the year here on Napa Fan is going to be at Le Mans, and I'm a little bit distracted there because Alex Bonacino, we're back in there in the number 4. Looks like he does have a problem, so we will go ahead and reset it before we get to the official start of the race, but we're going to go ahead and go through the rest of these cars here. We got the 98 here. That is, I do believe, get to it here. Forgot, and I'm sorry that I forgot. The 98 is Jonathan Fitzwater racing in the number 98. We got ourselves Chris Dodd in the 43 of Chespin Pokey. Chespin Pokey with that amazing win at the NRLOA kickoff race last week. And before I go any farther into this one, let's go ahead and reset it so Alex Bonsignor in the number 4 can start this race. And we are back here. So we left off in row number 5. Row number 6 sees Caleb Hoffman and Elijah Gordon starting alongside each other there. In row number 7, we got ourselves the 86 of Nathan Stapleton and the 8 of Cameron Garlington. The 71 of Isaac Nichols is starting alongside the 77 of Tyler Markell in row number 8. Row number 9 sees the number 11 of Cameron Black and the number 38 of Noah Clifton. In row number 10, rounding out the top 20 positions, we have John Art and Richard Kinghart in his first ever start here on Napa Fan. Take a look at the rest of the starting lineup on the bottom of your screen. The 7 guys who failed to qualify for today's race were Matt Tuck, Stuart Gratton, Luis Torres, Nicholas Samadillo, Tristan Allen, Daniel Bouchard, who was attempting to qualify for his first ever Napa Fan race here today, and Blaine Keys. You saw qualifying yesterday, you saw that those guys were too slow to advance on to this one here today, but they'll get another shot to qualify on October 28th when we have the qualifying for the Watkins Glen race on that day. Anyways, we've waited long enough for this. We got the sign-ups like a month ago, but the green flag is finally out here for the 90 minutes of Riverside in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. And we're side by side to get this one started between Max Neuwirth and Michael DeFeo. Neuwirth trying to get the advantage through the S's, but DeFeo is hanging tough there on the outside lane. The 04 trying to get around the 49, gets a good run there through that S. That S is the S's. I call one S an S. I don't know why. But in the end, Neuwirth is going to prevail as they go through the hairpin, and the 49 takes the lead here at Riverside. But DeFeo looking to get a run to the inside of him here. He's going to be able to do it in that 04. Got a lot of tight corners, but we got a lot of wide, winding corners here. And those wide corners are where we can see those guys make passes, get the runs. And that's why this racetrack is so good, is because got a lot of room to make passes, and it's a really fast road course as well. The faster, the better. Michael DeFeo in the 04 is going to lead the first lap of action here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. Coming off the final corner, it will be the 04 leading lap 1. And everybody got through the first lap very well, so that's a good thing to see. We still got some side-by-side racing back in here, but mainly they're going to get single file here. You see Chris Dodd and Caleb Hoffman going side-by-side through the S's here. Can't believe I called one of the S's an S. I mean, you get my logic with that one, but that's kind of embarrassing. DeFeo trying to pull away from Max Neuwirth here for the lead. Doing a pretty good job here pulling away from that 49. But this is a racetrack because we are going kind of fast here at the Riverside International Raceway. Got a tendency to go off the racetrack in some parts, so you definitely got to be careful here, especially if you're a guy like Michael DeFeo. You never know when you're going to screw up one of these corners, and that could hurt your chances. Of course, we have pit stops in this race, and those pit stops are going to definitely determine who wins this thing. So this is early on. This is a 90-minute race. We're only a few minutes into it on lap 2 of 76 here. Even though Michael DeFeo is starting to pull out a little bit here on Max Neuwirth, it's still going to take a lot for him to get this win. You see Cameron Garlington in the 8, and I do believe it was Alex Bonsignor maybe in the number 4. We got 3 guys on the pit road. There's the 23. The 23 is in the pit lane. So is Nathan Ormond in the 6. The 23, that is, trying to find out who that is here. The 23, I do believe, my stupid picture could actually get better quality there. I'd be able to tell. Yeah. I'm trying to do it where I don't show the replay controls. I felt that I did that too much in the NRLOA kickoff race. That is Cody Sill in the number 23, Nathan Ormond, and you see Cameron Garlington also in the pit lane. I don't know what happened. It looks like it was a possible crash. I will do my best to remember to review those crashes as we get to the end of the race. So I'm going to say that was about lap 2 there, and I'm going to put a name down so I can remember to review it. Max Neuwirth trying to close in on Michael DeFeo for the lead here. Doing a good job there. Josh Crash running in 3rd place right now in the number 56. Neuwirth kind of went off the corner there a little bit. And Crash is looking to close in on him for 2nd place. You see these guys mainly single file right now, but it is very easy for these guys to make a mistake. And when they make mistakes, that's when the guy behind them usually gets around him. Now, Neuwirth did not really make a mistake there, but Josh Crash has got a really good run on him, and this number 56 is going to take 2nd away from our pole sitter. Oh, they're getting into each other a little bit there. I will say this is the 2nd time I try to record this. The first time we were crashing just a little bit too much. These two guys, Max Neuwirth and Josh Crash, crashed. And I just didn't like it. We had it happen again with a couple more front-running cars, and I was like, you know what, let's just tone it down a little bit. The racing might not be as exciting, but this is an endurance race, and it's not necessarily the racing on the racetrack that makes these kinds of races exciting. It's the strategy, and that's why we got this series going on. We don't really have many strategy series here on Napa Fan and in the NRLOA, but this is what this series is trying to become, a strategy series, because these pit stops, when we get our first round going here, that is going to determine who wins this race. Max Neuwirth in the 49, trying to get around Josh Crash here. That is for 2nd place. Crash got around him. He's got Christian Master to deal with right behind him here. And Crash closing up on Michael DeFeo here. This 56 looking pretty fast here right now on lap 5 of 76. And of course, remember, there are no cautions here due to the fact that those caution periods would take away from a lot of the racing that we could have here. So we want to race the thing green from start to finish each time. So there are going to be no cautions in this series, even though the races are 90 minutes long. The 56 of Josh Crash trying to close up to the leader, Michael DeFeo. And he's doing a pretty good job in that 56. He got around Max Neuwirth, and I think this 56 might have something for DeFeo. DeFeo has led every lap so far, the first 5 in this race, but the lead is cut in half now, and then some, as Josh Crash continues to close in. Cody Sill and Nathan Ormond are back out on the racetrack. That's Herja Larvin Alonso with a little bit of damage there in the number 36. And I do believe the 75, forget who the 75 is, and my bad there. Hey, this is just the first time doing this. If you guys saw NRLOA kickoff, you know how bad I am at remembering these names. But the 75 is Jacob Holmes in his 2nd ever Napa Fan start. He might have gotten caught up with something in Alonso there. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down and try to remember to review it. Anyways, got a lot of side-by-side racing back in the pack. They're mainly single file as they run up front here. You see Neuwirth kind of falling off there from the lead battle between Josh Crash and Michael DeFeo. Not entirely sure what happened there. They might have gone off the racetrack. But Master, I don't know who's calling. I don't know if that's important or not. But Master side-by-side with the 49. Hold on just a minute so I can get this phone call. That's the one disadvantage of being home alone while recording a race. You gotta pick up the phone, but I didn't pick it up because it was a junk call. Anyways, Neuwirth almost got passed by Christian Master there, but does not look like it happened. And Master falling back in the 45. I'm not entirely sure if there's a problem on this A&W machine. Oh, and Fitzwater's gonna get into the outside wall hard there. And he's gonna fall back in the 59. Tough break for him, but we got a good battle for the lead here between Josh Crash and Michael DeFeo, and I do believe Neuwirth is going to close in here. Master holds on the 4th place right now, and Nick Smith rounds out the top 5. That's Tyler O'Riddy. Got the 43 of Chespin Pokey trying to go 2 in a row in his first 2 ever starts on Napa Fan. Wolfgang Stone and Cookie Helms are two drivers who have done that before. Fitzwater did get into the outside wall there. He fell back to now, I do believe, 8th. You got the 98 running up here. The 98 is, let me see here. Sorry, I keep on having to do this. I'm not really good at this. The 98 is driven by Jonathan Fitzwater. He, I do believe, is running in 9th place right now. Fitzwater, the other Fitzwater, Zachary Fitzwater, is now down to 10th. No, he's actually down to 9th. Jonathan Fitzwater is 8th, and 10th is this guy, Nathan Stapleton, in the 86. Caleb Hoffman is 11th. Garlington is a lap down at least. He is actually 3 laps down. The 38 and the 01. That's John Arndt. And we'll see who this other guy is. I'm sorry, Noah Clifton. They're multiple laps down. And it looks like something might have happened to those guys. I do believe they're still out there on the racetrack. But anyways, we should be focusing on this lead battle here. Josh Crash has been so close the past few laps here, but he has not been able to get around Michael DeFeo. But he's got a really good shot. He's getting that draft here. And we'll see if this 56 can get around this 04. He's got the run to the inside as they come to the line to complete lap number 8. They're side by side for the lead, and guess who's going to lead it? DeFeo in the 04 edges out Josh Crash at the line. Crash could not get it that time. You see Neuwirth a little ways back now in the 49. He's running in 3rd place, but these guys are battling really hard for the lead. And there's my apologies for being a little all over the place of trying to figure out who's out and who's not. I mean, it's going to be really hard to review all that happens in this one, so we probably will not review the crashes in this race. Just what happens, happens, and there really isn't much we can do about it. I mean, this is a 90-minute race, okay? I mean, by the time we get to that, I'm not going to feel like reviewing all that crap, you know what I mean? Anyways, the 04, Michael DeFeo leading the field. We got Josh Crash running in 2nd place. Max Neuwirth, Christian Master, and Nick Smith. No change in the top 5 here. DeFeo holding off the 56 for now. See if there are any double-wide battles anywhere, but it looks like if things have calmed down here in the 90. Oh, and just as I say that, somebody's off. And it looks like we got some pretty major contact here. That's a 75 of Jacob Holmes again. Chris Dodd, and the 66... let's just do this. That's Davey Johnson in the 66 with Chris Dodd, the 27 of Alex Russell, also with damage, and Cameron Black in the 11 has had a problem. And there's Jonathan King in the 07. Something major happened back in there. I might be rethinking this. Gonna go ahead and possibly review this stuff here. A tough break for those guys. And eventually we're going to have guys that end up a lap down. I mean, I don't think many guys are going to finish on the lead lap for this race, but I think the guys that are going to be in contention to win this thing are the 04, the 56, 49. I think these guys have an advantage. If you're in the top 10 right now, you're doing pretty good. But anyways, it's a really tough break for those guys involved in that one. We got Chris Dodd. And I think he took a hard hit there from Jacob Holmes. So I think that's why he has all that smoke coming out of his engine there. Tough break for the 15 of Chris Dodd. Remember, only the top 36 finishers are guaranteed to race at Watkins Glen on October 29th. Anyways, Josh Crash is coming close to Michael DeFeo again. We'll see if he can get around him here. Eventually, we will have pit stops beginning here. I'm not entirely sure how many sets of pit stops we will end up having for this one. But it will definitely be shaking some things up in the field once we get to him. But right now, it's been DeFeo leading every single lap. But hey, don't touch that dial. Don't go away, because we're going to get some passing here shortly as those pit stops are coming. So while it might seem like it's going to be a dominant race for Michael DeFeo, a boring race, trust me, this is an endurance race. It ain't over till it's over. And that's the thing about endurance racing. You're going to get these guys leading the field for quite a long period of time. But because the race is so long, you really can't lead every single lap in a 90-minute race. It's kind of hard to do so, especially at a road course like this. I got to look at this 49 here. I mean, he's closing in here on these lead cars here of Josh Crash and Michael DeFeo. That's Max Neuwirth, the pole sitter. Has not led a lap yet. Of course, the only guy who has led a lap so far in this one is Michael DeFeo in the 04. But still, at 49, he's got something up his sleeve. That's what I said about Marty Johnson in the NRLOA kickoff race last week, and I was totally wrong about that. But still, this 56 has been on the back bumper of this 04 for multiple laps so far, and he has just not been able to get around him yet. See, Master, remember, he was running up front with those guys earlier, but he's kind of faded a little bit in the 45. He is still running in 4th place, but hasn't really been able to catch up to Max Neuwirth there, and Neuwirth is only 1 second off of these guys, and there we go! Josh Crash to the inside of Michael DeFeo. Will he be able to take it, or will DeFeo be able to get around him? DeFeo is going to have the inside lane on this corner as they go down the long straightaway down the back. Will DeFeo be able to get around Josh Crash, or will Crash get the run on the outside? We're going to remain side by side. Now Crash is going to have the inside lane. DeFeo doing all he can to get it to work on the outside, but we got a new leader here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. Josh Crash in the number 56 out front on lap 12. And with that double wide racing, I think Neuwirth is going to close in here. Yep, he closed in by 13/100ths of a second that lap. DeFeo looking to take the lead back from Josh Crash as these guys battle. This 49 is coming in fast. Neuwirth is going to be part of this lead battle pretty soon. DeFeo trying to get around the 56 here for the lead. We're closing up on a couple of slow cars up ahead. You got Jacob Holmes in the 75. Remember, he was involved in that crash. I do believe that was lap number 9. You had Nathan Orman. He was involved in the crash earlier. And the 23 of Cody Sill was also involved in the crash earlier. Crash able to pull away from Michael DeFeo. And it's the 56 leading the field here at the Riverside International Raceway. Neuwirth now looking for second on Michael DeFeo here, as he is closing in on that 04. This is going to be interesting. Crash to the outside of Jacob Holmes. Top 3 runners are going to get around the 75 okay, I do believe. Neuwirth isn't. Neuwirth cannot get around him. He can't clear him quite yet. This 75 holding up Max Neuwirth. Neuwirth will get around him here. We got other guys coming up here. Got Christian Master, Nick Smith, Chespin Pokey has moved his way up to 6th as he got around Tyler O'Reilly. And I'm going to make it where if you finish in the top 5, finish in the top 10, you're going to get a good amount of points. So getting these top 10 finishes for these guys, that's really going to help them in the championship. And I mean, I know I don't have the point system all figured out quite yet, and I know I should, but don't worry. It's going to be similar to IndyCar, just kind of modified for the 42 cars we have in each race here. And I think even the guys who fail to qualify will get some points as well, just for the heck of it. But hey, got the 56 here, Josh Crash leading the field, and if he were to win, he'd get the most points, which I'm pretty sure the winner's going to get 100 points towards the championship. I think that's how we're going to do it. Those 3 guys got around Jacob Holmes okay. These guys are now trying to get around him, as the 75 did have a problem there with Chris Dodd. I tell you, these guys are coming close. That's Jonathan Fitzwater in the 98, Zachary Fitzwater right behind him. Those guys are not related, by the way. They just have a similar last name. Of course, we know that Davey Johnson and Maury Johnson aren't related. Johnson is an extremely popular name, but they are not related, but that's kind of obvious there. This is a little bit less obvious because Fitzwater's not as popular of a last name as Johnson is. But still, these guys aren't related, and turns out that they're racing alongside each other right here. Oh no, they get into each other! Fitzwater and Fitzwater upside down! You gotta be kidding me. Jonathan Fitzwater got spun by Zachary Fitzwater. How ironic. Fitzwater's got to be careful when he's coming back onto the racetrack. You, my goodness, almost into Kinghart. Gonna put Kinghart in the outside wall there a little bit. Not a good thing there for Fitzwater. Fitzwater's still on the lead lap. I don't know how he's gonna run, but Jonathan Fitzwater, what a tough break for him, getting involved in that crash there. Speaking of crash, though, Josh Crash in the 56 continues to lead, but DeFeo is not falling off of him here. Very interesting race going on here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. While it might not be necessarily side-by-side action throughout the whole field, it's still very entertaining. These guys are closing in on Nathan Ormond. As we look in the leaderboard here, Ormond is 3 laps down in the number 6 right now. Got quite a few guys a lap down. The number 60 is now a lap down. I'm not 100% sure who drives the number 60. The 34 of Harry-Jallarvin Alonso is a lap down. The 55 is a lap down. Number 60 is Cody Smart. Smart is the first guy 1 lap down. The 55 of Ryder Barnes is a lap down. The 75, which is driven by Jacob Holmes, is a lap down, but we already know his problems. You got Cameron Garlington, also not on the lead lap. The 23 there. The 23 is driven by Cody Sill. The 6 of Nathan Ormond. The 15 is not on the lead lap anymore. That is Chris Dodd. Remember his problems he had earlier. The 27 of Alex Russell. We really haven't talked about him that much, but Russell, he's multiple laps down. The 01 and the 38, it looks like those two guys are out. The 01 being John Arndt, and the 38 being... Who is the 38? I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I know I should know that. That's Noah Clifton in the 38. And the 34 is actually Elijah Gordon. The 34 is Elijah Gordon, not Harry-Jallarvin Alonso. Alonso's in the 36. Alonso is now a lap down in his machine. We only got 26 guys on the lead lap after 17 laps here at Riverside. And Nathan Ormond's already a lap down here. He's going to play into these guys here. But I think the 15 is out of Chris Dodd. I think everybody that's 6 laps down or more are out. So we got 35 guys, I think, on the racetrack. Jonathan Fitzwater's not on the racetrack, so that means at the most 34 guys still left in this race. Pit stops are beginning. Josh Crash comes in. What happened to Max Neuwirth? I think Neuwirth had already come in. And we'll try to find him there, and there he is in the 49. So Neuwirth coming in a lap early from the rest of these guys here, and I didn't really notice it there as we were trying to figure out who was out of this one. But Josh Crash comes down the pit lane. Michael DeFeo, a pit stall ahead of him. Christian Master, whoa, getting into Josh Crash there on the pit lane. See how these guys get off here, and this is where strategy comes into play, especially for someone like Max Neuwirth. He's getting those fresh tires. He's going to be a little bit faster there on the racetrack. I think it might be Neuwirth who's going to be leading this race once this cycle of pit stops finishes out. Crash is going to not win the race off the pit lane as DeFeo beats him in the 04. Very interesting there. These guys better be careful, but here comes Max Neuwirth in the 49. He's going to take, or is he? Crash is trying to get around the 49 there, and I think Crash is going to stay in second because Neuwirth is held up by the lapped car of Elijah Gordon. Maybe not. Neuwirth getting the run there. Can he do it in the 49 on the outside? Can't quite clear him. He's in the outside wall. Nope, he isn't in the outside wall. I thought he was going to hit that outside wall. He didn't. Neuwirth the second. But DeFeo, great pit stop on the 04, leading the field here at Riverside. Elijah Gordon in the 34 here. A lap down. I think he might have gone 2 laps down on that 34. Tough break for Elijah Gordon. Not entirely sure what happened to him. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be for a lot of these guys who failed to finish. We really aren't going to know whatever happened to him due to the fact that it's just going to be so hard to see how it happened because we don't have any cautions. Richard Kinghart led a lap there in the 13. You know what? I'm going to do it where get some bonus points here for leading laps. I just came up with that on the fly, but Richard Kinghart leads a lap there in the 13. We know that Josh Crash led a lap in the number 59, wherever he is. Lost the battle for the lead. Where is it? There it is. And of course right now DeFeo has obviously led the most laps in this one. So it's him, the 13 of Richard Kinghart, and we got ourselves the 56 of Josh Crash. The 3 guys leading laps so far in this one. So you might get some bonus points for leading laps. I don't know. I might try to do that, but I might not. It might be a little too complicated. We're just going to have to see. But I might do it. I might try to implement that into the point system. But we're just going to have to see. Anyways, Michael DeFeo with a great stop, leading the field in the 04 on lap 19 of 76 here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. Max Newirth in the 49 running in second place right now. Josh Crash, who came in the leader, down the third. Master is still fourth. Chespin Pokey, I mean, this guy has a reputation now of stealing victories. I think he might have a shot here today. He's currently running in fifth place right now in the number 45. Tyler O'Riddy is going to be in sixth here. We got ourselves Caleb Hoffman. How about this? 22 won the last race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in Season 5. He is running in 7th right now. 34 of Elijah Gordon, unfortunately, a lap down. Him and Hoffman started on the same row. Tyler Markle. It's been a while since he's raced here on Napa Fan, but here he is running 8th in this one. Got the 86 of Nathan Stapleton. That car right there, I'm not entirely sure what number that is. That's the 55 of Ryder Barnes. He is a lap down. Nathan Stapleton in the 13 of Richard Kinghart is going to lose 10th from this guy, William Brock, who's moving his way into the top 10 there. You see the 33 here of Marty Johnson. I'm just going to have to do it that way. It's a lot better to do it that way than trying to figure it out on my phone. Marty Johnson up to 11th. Richard Kinghart, though, running in 12th place, still getting a good run in his first ever Napa Fan start. But all these guys still have a chance. If they get a good stop on the strategy, and if Michael DeFeo ends up with a problem as this race goes along, whereas he's going to run in, or come close here with Nathan Ormond. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. I think Ormond should just let him go. Ormond's a few laps down in that number 6. That 04 shouldn't really have to deal with the 6. You got 2 lapped cars now in between Nathan or Michael DeFeo and second place Max Newirth. 2 lapped cars. That's really good for Michael DeFeo in the 04. Do not believe Michael DeFeo has ever won a Napa Fan race. He drove the number 20 in Season 5 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but he really did not have much success over there. But I do believe Michael DeFeo is going for his first ever win on Napa Fan here today at the Riverside International Raceway. This guy, however, I think he's going for his 11th or 12th win on Napa Fan. He's won 6 times in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He was part-time last season, but I'll make sure he's full-time in season number 6. But yeah, he's won a lot here on Napa Fan. Crash has a couple of wins. Don't believe Josh Crash has ever won a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race before. I do not believe he ever did. However, Josh Crash did win the opening event in the 2016 Haas IndyCar Series, and in a sense, this series is kind of similar to the IndyCar Series. We are opening up on a road course. Of course, all the races here in the Kubota SportsCar Championship are going to be on road courses. But the IndyCar Series opened up on the road course at Indianapolis. So Josh Crash, he's won on a road course before, and that's a pretty good experience there for that 56. That 56 is trying to get around Max Newirth again. He's going to get a run here. And through a right-hand corner, the 56 is going to be able to at least stay side-by-side with Max Newirth for now. Newirth getting the run on the inside there. These guys side-by-side for second down the backstretch. You see Michael DeFeo in the 04. It's about a 2-second gap to the lead from second place for these guys. Newirth is not going to have the inside lane this time, only unless he clears the 56. Crash is going to get the run to the inside, but they're going to remain side-by-side coming to the line, the complete lap 22. Crash is going to be second this lap, but Newirth has the advantage this time. Thing about it, you can get runs on the outside of these corners, and because of that, we get a lot of side-by-side racing, and that's what makes it so interesting, especially through these S's here. Through the S's, they can go side-by-side and do a pretty good job at it as well. Josh Crash will take second away from pole sitter Max Newirth. DeFeo continues to lead in the 04. But don't just turn it away because DeFeo's dominating this race. Like I said, this is an endurance race. We've already had quite a few guys with problems already with crashing and all that. Everybody 12 laps down or more, I do believe, is out of this thing. I know Fitzwater's out of this thing. Jonathan Fitzwater, at least. Not sure about the number 20. That is Nick Smith, who had a problem in the number 20. Remember, he was running in the top 10. So hard. So hard to cover everything that happens in these races, and I got to apologize if I miss you or something like that. But that's just the way it is. I mean, remember the 20 was running up there. He's now 5 laps down. He might be out. The number 6 of Nathan Ormond he is still on the racetrack. So that means we have 33 guys still left on the racetrack after 24 laps. It's pretty good. Only 9 guys getting knocked out so far due to the crashes. And remember, of course, since this is a road course, I should say, there are no cautions turned on. Anyways, DeFeo opening up a 2.7 second lead now on Josh Crash. And remember, Crash, in that first green flag stint there before the first set of pit stops, he was right on the back bumper of DeFeo for the longest time. He did eventually get around him. He came to the pit road the leader. He fell back to third. He's gotten around Max Newirth, but DeFeo is a long way ahead of him. Plus, he also would have to get around Nathan Ormond, who I do believe is running just as fast as our leaders here. So that's the advantage Nathan Ormond has. And I think Ormond, the way things are running right now, would be able to qualify for Watkins Glen. He is in the top 36 in points right now. Of course, the top 36 who finish this race will be the top 36 in points. It will be the top 36 in points for each race that are guaranteed to make it on to the next one. So it's not the top 36 finishers for each race, only for this one because this is the first race of the season. Feo is lead, 2.72, not really much of a change from the last lap there. I think these guys are kind of just riding it out for now until we get to the next set of pit stops. But what Michael DeFeo wants to do is open up as much of a lead as he can before those pit stops begin. You see the number 56 of Josh Crash. Remember, he did come into the pit road, the leader last time. Not a good stop by his crew there. You never know when the crews can make a mistake on their pit stop. Sometimes we have problems, and that could be a factor for Michael DeFeo. His crew did a great job that first stint as they got ahead of Josh Crash and got the lead. I think they were running second at the time. But still, that 04 can definitely make a mistake. All these guys running up front can make a mistake. But at the moment, it looks like this race is going to be between DeFeo, Crash, and Newirth. But we're only a third of the way through this thing, guys. Still got a long way to go. About an hour left of racing here at the Riverside International Raceway. Anything can happen. You never know when a guy like Master or Riddy or even this guy, I mean, you know this guy can do it, Chespin Pokey. He really made a name for himself there in that race last Saturday. He is going to be remembered for that one. The closer at the last second. Remember that one, beating Dan Park. They were side-by-side under caution in that race. You know, we got those side-by-side finishes under green. But have you ever had one under caution? That's what we had last week in NRLOA kickoff. Chespin Pokey able to win in the Jacksonville Jaguars car last weekend in his first ever Napa fan start. Currently running in 6th place, nonetheless, a fantastic finish for an endurance race like this. But then again, like I said, we're only about a third of the way through this one here at the Riverside International Raceway. It's going to take a while for these guys to get to that finish. And you just got to be consistent if you want to win this thing. And the lovely phone is ringing again. Hold on just a minute. And I know I'll keep on rolling here. Okay, never mind about that. Junk call. My phone actually reads me the number so I can hear it, and when it's not my own area code, I just forget about it, so yeah. As long as it's not my mom calling me, I'm good. Michael DeFeo continues to lead. Josh Crash did close in a little bit there. I see some dust. Not sure if somebody went off there. There's Alex Bonsignor in the 4. Remember when we were starting this one, he almost did not start this race, but of course, since we got that rule where every single driver needs to start, he was able to start, running 26th right now, the last guy on the lead lap in the number 4 Mustang there. And remember, Corvette, I am so sorry. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's a Corvette there. I'm so sorry about that. Remember the Rolex 24? I did a reaction video to that one. You had those 2 Corvettes racing side by side. That was such a great battle there in the Rolex 24, side by side at the line. Do believe it was the number 4 that won, and I forget who was driving those cars, but still a fantastic race. Really glad I saw that. I'm looking forward to the Rolex 24 next year. It's about the only sports car race I ever do get to watch, though. Never really get into Sebring. Le Mans happens in June. I mean, by the time NASCAR season starts and IndyCar season starts, I kind of just forget about sports cars, you know. I watch the Rolex 24, I get so into the Rolex 24, but that's about it. Now a 3-second lead for Michael DeFeo as Josh Crash can't really seem to close up to him. And you got Max North here pressuring this 56 for second. And I mean, these guys, from second on back, I mean, these guys are pretty close to each other. Then you got Michael DeFeo out front by 3 seconds. Now, if Crash was able to get around Nathan Norman, I think that would change things up a little bit. But, at the moment, it looks like this 04's got this one in the bag. Of course, what am I saying? We're not even halfway through this one yet. What am I saying? You don't have it in the bag until you cross the checkered flag. Let's just say that. Things have calmed down here at the Riverside International Raceway. We still have, I do believe, the same amount of cars on the lead lap as we did earlier. The 75 might have had a problem there. Don't exactly know who that is. Can't find them on the racetrack. We'll go ahead and see who that was. 75 of Jacob Holmes. I think he might be done in this one. So I do not see Jacob Holmes on the racetrack. And my bad for forgetting the names of these guys. You got to think this is the first race of this series. Some of these cars look alike. And, yeah, it's just sometimes a little hard to remember who's in what car. Anyways, Josh Crash trying to get around Nathan Norman here so he can have nothing but racetrack in between him and leader Michael DeFeo. We're just going to have to see if he can get around him. I think he's going to be able to do so on the outside. Now Neuwirth trying to get around Norman. Our pole sitter has yet to lead a lap in this one. And you're going to get bonus points for leading a lap, but not leading the most laps. As long as you lead one lap, you get a bonus point or whatever. You get bonus points for leading a lap in the race, but not for leading the most laps. At this point, it's obvious that Michael DeFeo has led the most laps in this one. But I haven't really been counting that. I know that DeFeo has led a lap, Josh Crash has led a lap, and Richard Kinghart on that cycle of pit stops has also led a lap. Josh Crash has really had to hold off this 49. Neuwirth has not really been able to get around Josh Crash yet. But looks like Crash is pulling away a little bit here for second place now. Halfway in this race, you got 76 laps in this one. Halfway would be 38 when we complete lap 38. We will be halfway through the 90 minutes of Riverside. Bonsignor, I do believe he is still on the lead lap. And he is. 25 guys on the lead lap here. The 62. Looks like he went a lap down. And that is the number 60 there of Cody Smart in the pit lane. I think he might be one of those guys multiple laps down. We'll have to see here. And he's only one lap down. I think we got a cycle starting here. Some of those guys in the back coming in. The 71 also a lap down. Got a good battle back in here. There's the number 3 there of Trey Bartow. We haven't even mentioned him yet in this one. But Trey Bartow up to 10th place. I do believe pit stops are starting here. So I don't know if these guys are going to start here soon or what. We're just going to have to see. But these guys battling here. Got Trey Bartow in the top 10 now, trying to get around William Brock for 9th. Right behind him, it's the 33 of Marty Johnson, and Johnson is on the lead lap as well. A lot of those guys, veteran drivers, have a lot of wins on Napa Fan. William Brock actually only has 1 win. Kind of forgot about that, but still, he's a good driver. Runner-up in the championship for Season 4 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He knows what he's doing out there. Richard Kinghart's also on the lead lap there in the number 13. The 5 right behind him, that's Reagan Whitlock. He's running in 13th right now. The 21 of Noah Cars. We haven't even mentioned him yet in this one. He is 14th right now. Stapleton is 15th. 60 is a lap down. That's Cody Smart. 78 of Jonathan Skavnicki. currently running in 16th place right now. At the 7, Jack Porkins is a lap down in the 62. That's who's driving the 62 there. There's the 7 of Aiden Shepard, who started in last place for this race. He's moved his way through more than half of the field in this one. Good job for Aiden Shepard. The 56 leading the field of Josh Crash. As DeFeo, I do believe, has made his pit stop in the 04. So Crash out front again. We'll try to see where he is here on the racetrack. Get to him. I do believe these guys are coming in. There's Josh Crash, your leader. DeFeo comes in 1 lap early. I think he saw what Neuwirth did there. But interestingly enough, these guys aren't coming in yet. Of course, pit stops are obviously starting. I think Zachary Fitzwater is still on the lead lap in the 59. Remember, he had that issue there with Jonathan Fitzwater as they went off the racetrack and crashed. He has some damage to his race car, but he is still on the lead lap. So the strategy now is a lot more widespread now, and this is where things get interesting in these endurance races. You know, in the first stint, you know, they're usually all about around the same lap there. Maybe one guy comes early, maybe one guy comes a lap late there. But as this race goes on, these guys start staying out for longer. And the things get a lot more widespread than what they did earlier on in the race. 56 of Josh Crash leading the field right now. Max Neuwirth, Christian Master, Tyler O'Riddy, and Caleb Hoffman right now, the top 5. We'll see if these guys come in here on this lap. Will Josh Crash come down the pit lane here? Not yet. Anybody else back in here? I'm not entirely sure if Michael DeFeo had a problem or not, because these guys do not appear to be coming in. I mean, you see some guys come in. Here's the number 12 of Josh Alexander in the pit lane. I haven't talked about him at all. Daytona 500 champion in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series there. Anybody else coming in? I'm not sure, but DeFeo might have had a problem. There's the 04. He is still on the lead lap, so he must have just come down the pit road for a routine pit stop. I think this is just strategy for Michael DeFeo. He's trying to come in early, get those fresher tires, get those faster lap times than our leaders, and try to seal this one in the bag for him. I mean, we're not even halfway through this one, but now's a better time than ever to start thinking about strategy, and that is what Michael DeFeo did, coming in a little earlier than these guys. These guys have stayed out. I do believe 2 laps more. It'll be 3 laps if they decide to stay out this time. Of course, too, when it comes to the strategy, you want to make sure you have fuel for the finish. And Christian Master is going to gain some bonus points here as he's going to lead lap number 34 in this one in the number 45. So you do not get extra bonus points for leading the most laps. You only get bonus points for leading laps. That's it. If you lead a lap, you get bonus points. I don't know how many it'll end up being. I'll figure that all out. Of course, I probably have already figured it out. You guys have probably already seen a video explaining how I'm going to do it. So, yeah. Hopefully I've remembered to do that. So at the point of recording this on August 30th, I don't really know what it's going to be, but I think by the time you guys are watching this, I think you guys already understand it, because I probably have already made a video on it. Hopefully. Neuwirth trying to get around Josh Crash. He bumps into him there a little bit, and this is what DeFeo was trying to do, and he did a fantastic job at it. Look at how far ahead he's going to get from Josh Crash. Those fresher tires really helped, and DeFeo is nailing it on the strategy. Whoever's the crew chief of this guy, give him a raise if you ever pay him in that fictional Inter 2003 world there. Anyways, will Christian Master come in this time, or will those guys come in with a little bit of strategy? I don't think they are. Nathan Norman's a lap down here. Garlington's multiple laps down. And there's Marty Johnson. Yeah, I think this is the last cycle here. Oh, boy. Maybe not. There is Trey Bartow. Not officially leading a lap, I do believe, because Master did, in fact, lead the lap coming down the pit lane. But at the moment, Trey Bartow is the leader in the number 3. There is, I do believe, Josh Alexander in the 12. He is a lap down right now in the number 12 machine. He's the first guy 1 lap down. Reagan Whitlock second. Alonso's a lap down. Cody Smart's a lap down. That's Jake Porkins. He's a lap down, at least a lap down. I say they're a lap down. They might be more than 1 lap down. There's the 06. That is Gabriel Wanderlei, the Season 4 Daytona 500 champion in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Really haven't talked about him that much in this one. This is the first time we mentioned him in this one. First time I even remember seeing this car in this race. But Gabriel Wanderlei in the 06 there, I think he's a lap down as well. Elijah Gordon, I know he's a lap down, and get this, 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. Oh wait, okay, I'm seeing the 56 and I'm thinking that that's him. My bad there. The 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. I'm trying to find him here. Where is he? 59. He's 26th right now, 1 lap down. Trey Bartow stayed out, or no, he actually is coming in, I do believe. I do believe he came in. Maybe, I don't know. But it does appear, I think Trey Bartow, yeah, Trey Bartow is still out there getting bonus points for leading that lap. In the number 3 machine. But Michael DeFeo, once this whole thing cycles through, DeFeo is going to have the largest lead so far in this race. Bartow is the only guy yet to make a pit stop for the second time in this one. Michael DeFeo, see the lead he ends up having here. You can see the difference already between him and Josh Crash. Now the thing is here, Josh Crash does not have anybody in front of him lap down car-wise. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't know where I get these phrases from. I don't know how my brain works. It's really weird. But there's nobody in between Michael DeFeo and second place Josh Crash. Bartow come in. No. Bartow is staying out again in that number 3 machine. I don't know if he's already made a stop or what. I don't even know where he is. There he, okay, sorry. He did come in. So Bartow is in. That's going to relinquish, I should say, the lead to the 04 of Michael DeFeo. And DeFeo, I mean, he's really winning on strategy in this one. That is why he is dominating this race here at Riverside, because he's getting that strategy perfectly right. Now, the problem is here, it is possible that somebody like Trey Bartow could make the race on 1 fewer stop than Michael DeFeo. And if that were to happen, that would mess with DeFeo's plans of winning this race. But will that happen? See, I think it's about a 19-lap fuel run at the most there. I think Trey Bartow, he stretched it, I should say, as far as he possibly could. And I do believe he's going to lose a little bit of time because of that. But not too bad for the number 3 at Trey Bartow. Doing pretty good there. Marty Johnson has gotten around William Brock. And these are some guys up here. That's for 8th. I do believe the 5 of Reagan Whitlock is going to be 11th here. No, I'm wrong. Where am I? No, okay. Bartow is going to fall to 10th. Whitlock's going to be 11th. Kinghart's going to be 12th. Noah Cars is going to be 13th. Skivnicki and Stapleton 14th and 15th respectively. 4.68 seconds, I should say, for this guy Michael DeFeo. Zachary Fitzwater is still on the lead lap though, in the number 59. He's the last guy on the lead lap, but still, he's on the lead lap. Somehow, some way, after getting involved in that crash with Jonathan Fitzwater earlier on, he is still on the lead lap here for this one. But I don't think he's going to finish there. But remember that incident with both of the Fitzwaters. That's kind of a memorable one there. We were talking about how the 2 Fitzwaters, who were not related to each other, were racing against each other. And right when I was talking about that, they crashed. Quite ironic there. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. See a lot of these lap down guys coming in, trying to salvage some points here. and have a possible chance at the championship. But if you do not start off with a good race, I mean, it's only a 4-race season. If you do not start off with a good race, you're probably not going to have, get the championship. We are over halfway here in the 90 minutes of Riverside at the Riverside International Raceway. It is Michael DeFeo still leading the field in the 04. Josh Crash, though, running second. He's been the guy DeFeo has really had to contend with in this one so far. And he might still have to contend with him a little bit later on here, because it was about a 4.6 or 4.8, I can't remember, second lead. It's now only down to 4 seconds. That 56 is fast. I think the 56 is faster than DeFeo. But DeFeo has the advantage because of the strategy. And I think the strategy for Michael DeFeo is really helping him out here in this one. Christian Master has moved his way up to 3rd place. A good run for the 45. And I'm just going to show you, I mean, this is showing you right now how important qualifying was, because I do believe that the top 4 guys running in this race were the top 4 fastest guys in qualifying yesterday. That is how important qualifying is. I tell you, I've been getting so many freaking junk calls on my phone lately, it's not even funny. Washington, D.C.? I don't know anybody from Washington, D.C. A good ringtone, though. There's that piece there. Let's Go Big O is composed by Sam Spence, one of my favorite composers of all time. He unfortunately passed away earlier this year. You might have noticed, I think I did a race kind of near that time, and I do believe I featured a song from Sam Spence in that one. I probably should have gone a little bit more on the tribute for him, but really sad to see him go. One of the greatest composers of all time, in my opinion. But then again, he's kind of known for copying some other guys with some of his pieces, but nonetheless, his stuff is great. If you ever watch NFL films, you'll know his music. It's recognizable. You hear it in a lot of commercials, and of course, tomorrow, first Sunday of NFL football. Kind of looking forward to that. I think I might watch that instead of the Chicagoland race. Wait. No, what am I saying? It's August 30th while I'm recording this, so... Okay, yeah, it's actually going to be Richmond. I don't think I'm going to be watching Richmond, because I actually kind of want to see the Battle at Bristol, the Virginia Tech-Tennessee game. I really want to see that game. Those are 2 of my favorite schools, Virginia Tech and Tennessee, and it's at Bristol. I mean, those are my 2 favorite sports coming together right there, college football and NASCAR. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. But, I mean, as the chase goes along, like the early part of the chase, it's really boring for me. But as it goes along, once we kind of like hit Talladega, that's when I start watching it again. So don't worry, guys. I'll still watch it. I mean, if Chase Elliott's going to be in the chase, then I'll probably be watching the chase a little bit more earlier on in the season. But then again, I really want to see some football, you know. Football season only lasts so long. I mean, that's why on Saturdays I don't watch the Xfinity Series as it goes down in its season, because that's Saturday. I got to be watching college football on Saturdays. But I definitely watch the Truck Series. I will say that. I watch the Truck Series as it goes on through its season. It's the one I follow the whole way through to the end. That and IndyCar. Those are my 2 favorite series. The Cup Series is fun and all. And the Xfinity Series, we all know that one. It's not fun. But anyways, kind of getting off on a tangent here, but hey, what else is there to really talk about? Things have calmed down tremendously here at Riverside, but the strategy is the biggest thing here. And it's all going to depend on what Michael DeFeo does on his pit stops, because remember, he came in about 3 laps earlier than Josh Crash did on that last cycle there. You see Christian Master, he gained a position on Max Newworth there. Newworth down the 4th. Remember, he started on the pole, but he has yet to lead a lap in this race. Very interesting there for the 49 of Max Newworth. Starting on the pole and not even leading a lap. Hoffman has been moving his way through the field very well. He is up to 5th place in the number 22. Caleb Hoffman. I'm not entirely sure how his whole retirement thing is going to be going or not. He said that he was going to retire from full-time racing at the end of Season 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. That's going to be a long time from now, by the way. It's going to be like May when that ends. But still, Caleb Hoffman, you know, he's a legend here on Napa Fan. I don't know if he's ever won a championship. I don't think he has, but he's definitely one of the best drivers we have ever had here on Napa Fan. And I hate to see him go away from full-time racing, but if you watch his retirement video, it's about a month ago. He was saying, you know, it's like, we're getting so many guys to sign up here on Napa Fan that he kind of just wants other people to get a chance, you know. And I agree. I mean, we got so many guys now. 442 subscribers when I'm recording this. It's probably the same at the time this is uploaded because this hasn't really been gaining that much. But still, we got a lot of guys who watch these races, who want to be in these races. And for someone like Hoffman to do that, it's a class act, and got to hand it to him for doing that. We'll definitely miss him from full-time racing. But he is definitely one of the best friends I have here on YouTube. A lot of you guys are my best friends, you know. I got a lot of best friends, you know what I mean? You're all equally good. But, yeah, it's going to be sad to see Hoffman go. But he's racing full-time in this season, and he might be battling for this championship. He's right now in the top 5. I mean, get a top 10 here in this first race. You're going to be in the hunt for the championship as it goes along. Because the top 10 positions, I know, are going to get a lot of points towards the championship. You see DeFeo working around lap traffic. That's Jacob Holmes. He is still out there on the racetrack. One of 33 guys still left on the racetrack. I don't think anybody's gotten knocked out since the last time I said that. We have ourselves 21 guys on the lead lap. The last guy on the lead lap is the number 60 of Cody Smart. He's found his way on the lead lap somehow. Actually, let me try to find him here. He is actually coming in for his, I do believe, 3rd stop of the race here. And this is where we're going to want to focus here on Michael DeFeo. I think we're going to have our 3rd cycle of pit stops beginning here shortly. We're going to watch for Michael DeFeo here and see if he comes in early. And if he does, that's going to allow Josh Crash all the way back in here to take the lead. Neuwirth has found his way around Christian Master for 3rd place. And the higher up you get into the points, I know the more of a difference there is between the positions in the points. So, like, a jump from 4th to 3rd means a lot more points than a jump from 20th to 19th. That's a big deal there for Max Neuwirth. But the big thing, I think I really didn't emphasize it that much, but qualifying was such a big thing, and we really didn't talk about it that much. But, I mean, you notice that I just said earlier, you know, we got the top 4 guys running in this race right now, all started in the top 4 positions. Now, not in the order they qualified in, but still, that shows how important starting up front is in these races. And if you don't start up front, it's going to be hard for you to work your way through the field. I mean, got to hand it to Aiden Shepard, who started last in this race, 42nd. Look at how many positions he's gained. He's up to 15th now. But 15th is nowhere near enough points compared to 1st place. And if Shepard got a better starting position, I mean, if he did the same thing and he started 30th, he'd probably be in the top 5 now. I mean, that's just how important qualifying is, and I hope you guys enjoyed that qualifying session yesterday. It might have been a little hard for you guys to understand me in that one because it's just always so confusing whenever I try to do something like that. But still, it's a big thing. Qualifying is something you guys should definitely be paying attention to because starting up front for these races is big time. You got to do it if you want to get a good race here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. Michael DeFeo has been the dominant guy in this race. Josh Crash has really not been able to get to him here in this 56. It's looking like this 04 has the advantage, but the whole question is, will he have to make an extra stop compared to everybody else? Because he did come in quite early on that 2nd stint of pit stops, and might have been a little too early for him. He's getting around the number 40 there of Nick Johnson, making his first ever start here on Napa Fan. I forget who actually signed up for this car, but Nick Johnson in the number 40. one of the 3 Johnsons in this field. We got Nick Johnson, and we got veteran drivers Marty Johnson and Davey Johnson in the field. I don't know if Davey Johnson's still running. I forget what car Davey Johnson even drives. Cup Series is easy. Those cars are recognizable, and when it comes to IndyCar, there's only like 25 of them. Here we got 42. Actually, we have 49, but we got 42 in this race. And how about this? I'm going to mention this one. Marty Johnson is up to 6th in the number 6 machine, the number 33 machine, I should say. He started 39th for this race. So you thought Aiden Shepard was doing a good job? Marty Johnson. He could win this race, possibly. He is 6th right now. He could very possibly win this thing. Chespin Pokey in the 43 might have had a problem. Or no, I think he's just coming in. I think that's just a routine stop there for the 43. He's 3 laps down. Yeah, something happened to him. I don't know what happened to Chespin Pokey here. But something happened to the NRLOA kickoff winner there. Michael DeFeo coming in here. Josh Crash taking the lead away from him in the 56. DeFeo, nice clean stop. And the thing is, too, DeFeo comes in before everybody else. There's nobody else really coming in with him. So he does not have to worry about getting caught up with anybody. If you remember the IndyCar race at Road America, I think it was the first one, Noah Clifton was dominating that race. Matt Deal was like the only guy who stayed out an extra lap compared to everybody else in that race. There was a collision on the pit road that slowed down the number, I forget what number he was driving, but there was a collision that slowed down Noah Clifton in that race on the pit lane. He did not get off the pit lane, did not do his whole pit cycle near as fast as Matt Deal did. In the 49, Max Newworth is finally going to lead a lap. So we should probably be focusing on the lead here. Josh Crash wants to work with the strategy of Michael DeFeo here, so he's going to come in. And Max Newworth leads his first lap of the race, some bonus points there for the 49. But as I was saying, Michael DeFeo's coming in with hardly anybody else coming in around him. If you remember that IndyCar race at Road America, that first one, we had 2 of them. You remember, Matt Deal won the race because he came in with nobody else. He was able to take his pit stop and get off the pit lane much faster than Noah Clifton did. And Noah Clifton, even though he dominated that race early on, Matt Deal was able to win because he was able to get through his pit stop much faster than the car Noah Clifton was driving, which number I forget. Christian Master going for the lead side by side there, but then again, these guys still have to make a pit stop here. They're going to stay out. Master's going to take the lead in the 45. Now remember this, if this does happen to be a race where somebody can make it to the end with making 1 fewer stop than the rest of the guys, remember Trey Bartow in the number 3, he stayed out a long time. Now, I think it was like lap 38 when he came in last. Lap 37, lap 38. So about like 18, 19 laps for this guy. It's possible, I think, very slightly, slimly possible, that Bartow could possibly make the race on 1 more stop. DeFeo's definitely going to have to come in again before this thing is done. And I think there definitely will Josh Crash in the 56. But it is very slightly possible that Trey Bartow could, in fact, stay out to the end. So I know this might seem like a boring race, but there's a lot going on here with the strategy and all that, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's really cool to see these cars go through this road course. I mean, we're seeing a lot of good battles. We're seeing a lot of speed. It's really entertaining. Whether or not we got a guy dominating this race. Newworth is coming in now in the 49 as Master stays out yet again in the 45. So far, 6 guys have led a lap. The 04... who is the 04? oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's Michael DeFeo. I'm thinking 04. I'm thinking, is that John Art? No. That's Michael DeFeo, the guy who's dominated this race. But the 04, Michael DeFeo has led a lap. The 45 here of Christian Master has led a lap. The 3 of Trey Bartow has led a lap. Richard Kinghart led a lap there in that first stint. The 56 of Josh Crash and the 49 of Max Newworth are all going to get bonus points. They're all going to get the same amount of bonus points heading in to the next race at Watkins Glen. Not 100% sure how many it's going to be, but you guys should already know, as I did probably go over that in a previous video for you guys. So, yeah. The Christian Master leading the field on lap 52 of 76. Hoffman still out there. There is Marty Johnson in the 33. He is well behind Caleb Hoffman. But remember what I said. Marty Johnson, he started 39th for this race, and he is running in 3rd place now. What a run. Master continues to stay out, and the longer Master can stay out, the longer... Oh, no! I thought they were going around there. The S is there from that angle. It's kind of hard to see. You see that? It almost looks like they're in the sand from that angle. Sorry about that. But Christian Master continues to lead here in the number 45 on lap 53 of 76. And he is staying out longer than the rest of these leaders here, so we're going to have to see what he does here. Let's see where Michael DeFeo is. There he is in the 04. He's up to 8th place right now. Once this thing cycles out, DeFeo's going to be back out front. We're just going to have to see. I mean, you never know when he could get into some trouble with these lap-down race cars. That is Jack Porkins in the 62 racing with him there. But you never know when it could be a problem for him. You see Trey Bartow there in the 3. Now, it's possible that even if Bartow can make it on one fewer stop than DeFeo, that DeFeo could actually beat Bartow. Anyways, Master coming down the pit lane to make his 3rd stop of the race. He's going to have to make another one before this thing ends, as it is 23 laps to go in this one. And there goes Trey Bartow. But it's actually Reagan Whitlock staying out. Whitlock is now the leader in the number 5. I do not believe he led that lap. However, it was Master in the 45. But Reagan Whitlock is now leading in the number 5 machine. Trey Bartow is running in 2nd. Pokey's a lap, or multiple laps down in the 43, unfortunately. I do believe Bonsignor just went a lap down, but I think once this whole thing cycles through, he'll be back on the lead lap. That is Josh Alexander in the 12. I do believe he's a few laps down. Alonso's a lap down. Markel's a lap down. Wanderley's a lap down. And you know what? Next guy in line is this guy, 04. Michael DeFeo. But this time I think Josh Crash is closer to him than he was that last stint. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's looking really good for Michael DeFeo. But if Trey Bartow could stay out for a long time here, Bartow might be able to pull it off. And I'm trying to find him. There he is. Whitlock's coming in and Bartow's coming in. These guys are not going to be able to make it. They're not. They're going to have to make another set of pit stops. Anyways, Whitlock will not lead this lap. It will be Bartow who leads it on the pit lane. But not too far behind. You're going to see this guy take the lead in the 04. Michael DeFeo back out front here at Riverside. This time, we're going to have to see what the lead is between him and Crash. And it looks like it is closer from the last time. But unlike that last stint, Josh Crash does have a couple of lapped cars in between him and the leader, Michael DeFeo. So that is not a good thing for Crash. But still, it's not over for the 56 yet. It is not over for Josh Crash. He still has a shot at getting to this 04. Yeah, but Trey Bartow and Reagan Whitlock are definitely not going to be able to make it on one, or make it to the end, I should say, on this stop. And I think this race will be between DeFeo and Crash. It's going to come down to that last pit stop. Now, if I was Josh Crash, what am I tell you, bad grammar. If I were Josh Crash, I would try to come in a little bit earlier, get those fresh tires, and try to get the advantage on Michael DeFeo, and possibly take the lead away from him. See where Max Newworth is. I mean, he's been doing a great job today. He's fallen back just slightly in this one, but the 49's done a good job. I mean, started on the pole. He actually has led a lap now. My bad there, but still, he's running in 4th place right now. There's a good amount of points there. Master is running in 3rd. Caleb Hoffman, he is battling. He is pressuring this 49 here for 4th place. The 3.86 second lead there for Michael DeFeo. It's about how much it was before in the second green flag stint there in between the first and second pit stop. So we're just going to have to see how DeFeo gets around these lap cars. Now, if he has a skirmish here with these lap cars, that is really going to shake things up. I mean, Josh Crash, I mean, he is well ahead. Yeah, he is well ahead of Christian Master right now. It's DeFeo and Crash. Those are the two guys who, at this point, really have a chance. Now, you never know when something could happen between lap cars here. And DeFeo's got quite a few of them to get around. Oh, man, they came close. That was DeFeo and Wanderlei. They almost got into each other there. They did get into each other, but fortunately, no major contact to knock anybody out. Well, Michael DeFeo continues to lead. It is now 20 laps to go here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. Wanderlei might try to get back to the inside of him here, and if that were to happen, that would close up that 56 pretty quickly. You see him there on the top of the hill there through the S's. If Wanderlei pressures this 04 anymore, it might not be good for Michael DeFeo. We're just going to have to see. Cody Smart's the next guy in line for DeFeo to get around. I mean, you got to hand it to DeFeo, though. And his pit crew, he has done a fantastic job of flawless racing, and that's how you win these races here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. You can't make mistakes. You got to be clean, and that is what DeFeo has done. He's done a good job. These guys are going to be going side by side here. Oh, boy. Oh, man, he's going to get into him. Oh, no. The leader, Michael DeFeo, gets into Jacob Holmes and Cody Smart. This is, I said, I mean, why is it whenever I talk about how somebody, they're doing such a good job, and then they crash right after that? It was Jacob Holmes and Cody Smart that got into each other, and DeFeo had such a good run on those guys, but he didn't have any room to make the pass. And because of that, Michael DeFeo, who is the dominant car of this race, leading so many laps, is out in the 04. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. That is why we race, and this is what I said earlier. With these endurance races, it is so hard to dominate one of these things for that very reason. You got to feel for Michael DeFeo there. Jacob Holmes, I mean, he was slow there on the racetrack anyway, if you remember that. And then Cody Smart, I don't know what Cody Smart was trying to do. He was trying to get to the outside of him and pass him, and DeFeo was trying to get to the inside of Holmes. I really don't know. We will review that. That one thing there. I don't think we'll review the earlier crashes in this one, but we'll review that one. About lap 57, I think, when that happened. And it was such a tough break for Michael DeFeo, who was dominating this race. He is not going to get the victory. It is Josh Crash leading the field right now in the 56. And now what he has to worry about is the 45 of Master and these three guys back in here. It is not done yet. Josh Crash, you never know when you can make a mistake there on the pit lane there on that final pit stop. So it's going to end up being a 4-stop race here for this one here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. But still, the 56 of Josh Crash, he might make a mistake on his pit stop. You never know when that could happen, and that could close up Neuwirth, Master, and Hoffman. Those three guys, they all have a lot of experience and a lot of wins here on Napa Fan. They know what they're doing. Right now, Master is running in second place, Neuwirth is running in third, and Caleb Hoffman is running in fourth place with the 33 of Marty Johnson running in fifth. He started 39th for this race. He has moved his way up 34 positions in this race. It took him 59 laps to do so, but Marty Johnson with a fantastic run here today in the 90 minutes of Riverside. William Brock is 6th. Reagan Whitlock is 7th. The 21 of Noah Cars is 8th. The 9. Where is the 9? I don't see Tyler Riddy. Riddy is running in 10th place right now, and Trey Bartow is 9th in the number 3. But how about Michael DeFeo? He's back out there on the racetrack, so he was not knocked out, but he is now a lap down in the 04, trying to salvage as much points as he can, as many points as he can, I should say. And it's a tough break for Michael DeFeo, who was dominating this race, trying to get around Cody Smart And Jacob Holmes, it just did not work for him. And he is not going to win this race. And you see, he's about to get lapped again by Josh Crash here. The 56, the guy he was mainly battling with this whole race, is coming up on him. That's such a tough break for DeFeo. Such a tough break. And that's a violent crash, too. I think Jacob Holmes went upside down in that one. Remember the crash earlier with Jonathan Fitzwater? He went upside down as well. When they crash, they do not crash lightly. Anyway, 61 of 76 laps. 60 laps complete. And it is 16 laps to go here in the 90 minutes of Riverside, the first race in the 2016 Kubota Sports Car Championship. Josh Crash, the leader, by 6.79 seconds. That might seem like a dominating performance, but this thing is far from over. These guys are going to have to do another set of pit stops, and you never know when Josh Crash could possibly make a mistake on his pit stop. Master running in second, Neuwirth still running in third, Hoffman still running in fourth. Then you got fifth place all the way back here with Marty Johnson. That's a little ways behind fourth place, though. These guys have really spread out. But it's Josh Crash leading the field in the number 56, but we still have a long ways to go here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. But what a race we have had so far. I mean, we've had so much happen in this one. And this thing is still not over yet. These guys still have a lot to do until we get to the finish of this one. But still, you thought Michael DeFeo had it. He was the dominant guy. He was going to win this thing if it weren't for that crash. But that's why we race, and that's why it's so hard to win one of these endurance racing. And that's why if Josh Crash wins this thing, he should feel really happy. Because this is a big thing. This is a big deal. A 90-minute race, that's a long race, you know? That 56, if he can get it done, that's a big win in Josh Crash's career. It really is. But you got a lot of guys who have had already outstanding careers. Christian Master, Max Neuwirth, Caleb Hoffman. They want to win this race as well. But we're just going to have to see how it all plays out in this final set of pit stops here at Riverside. It's 15 to go. It's going to be 14 to go when we cross the line this time. We are closing in on the finish of the first race of the season. Josh Crash doing a good job in the number 56. I don't really think he was like the fastest guy on the racetrack, especially through those, second couple of green flags since they're in between those pit stops. But still, he's definitely found his way up to second place. And when Michael DeFeo crashed, he relinquished the lead away from the 04. And Josh Crash with a great opportunity of getting this win here today at the Riverside International Raceway. Now, Master, Neuwirth, and Hoffman might want to play a little bit of strategy here. I think at this point, you can make it to the end of the race without having to come in again. So if I were Master, Neuwirth, and Hoffman, I'd come down the pit lane now, get 4 fresh tires, and get some speed there on Josh Crash, and possibly beat him once the cycle finishes out for the last time. Nathan Ormond, number 6, with a big problem there. Not entirely sure what happened. You see skid marks there. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we've probably missed a lot of crashes so far in this race. Really not much we can do about it, unfortunately, but still. Like I said, not everybody's going to finish this race. I mean, just to finish one of these races is an accomplishment. I mean, you got to really think about it. Just to finish one of these things is an accomplishment. And Nathan Ormond, his day might be done. He raced most of this race multiple laps down. We have 42 guys still left in this thing. 32 guys still left on the racetrack. Might go down to 31 with Nathan Ormond there. But on the lead lap, we have 18 guys. That's still quite a few guys for an endurance race like this, to have 18 guys on the lead lap. Anyways, going back to the lead, and I will say that these 4 guys, or these 3 guys I should say, Christian Master, Max Neuwirth, and Caleb Hoffman, they are closing in on Josh Crash. Whereas Crash had to go through quite a bit of lap traffic there, and I think that's why the lead did go down a second there. And now these other guys are trying to get around these lapped cars, and you got to be careful. Just ask that guy there in the 04. They're coming close there on Nathan Norman there, and you just got to be careful. Max Newworth there in the 49, side by side with DeFeo, but that is not for position. They started on the front row together. But they're not going to finish that way. Master still running in second place, and Josh Crash has just come down the pit lane. So Crash is going to be the one who comes in early, and that's going to really be an advantage for that 56. Now the question is, has Trey Bartow been saving fuel? I mean, you're going to have to save quite a bit of fuel to make it to the end. But has he been saving fuel, and does he have an actual shot of possibly staying out to the end and stealing the victory? It's a really big question there on that number 3 of Trey Bartow. We're just going to have to see. Anyways, the lead is going to go to the 45 of Christian Master now. Newworth is now second. Hoffman is now third. Marty Johnson is now fourth place, back from 39th. I mean, you almost deserve bonus points for doing that. You really do. But it just matters where you finish and if you lead a lap or not. You don't even get bonus points for winning the pole. You do that in the IndyCar series. We do that in the IndyCar series, but we do not do it here. And it's just a matter if you lead a lap and where you finish. If you lead a lap, you get a couple bonus points, and if you win, you get a lot of points. And that's what Master's trying to do, but he's definitely going to have to come in again. So will Newworth and Hoffman, and I think Marty Johnson will as well. Now, Whitlock and Bartow were the two guys who stayed out the longest last time. So both of those guys might have an advantage here. I have no idea if Bartow has been attempting to save fuel or not, but we're just going to have to see. Richard Kinghart is in 8th right now. Nathan Stapleton's in 9th. And I do believe, you see there, that's William Brock in number 10. He just made his pit stop. Jonathan Skibnicki, I think he's been on the lead lap most of this time. He's going to make his pit stop. I mean, if you finish on the lead lap, you got a good day going for you. There's not going to be many guys who finish on the lead lap for this one. Anyways, there's Josh Crash in the 56. And you see him there. He's made his pit stop. He's good to go to the end of this race. He can make it to the end. He's got fresh tires and everything. The whole question is, how long can these guys stay out? It is 10 laps to go here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. And Christian Master is leading. Newworth, Hoffman, Johnson is running in 4th, and the 5 of Reagan Whitlock is 5th right now. Whitlock and Bartow can stay out the longest, but I do believe they're going to have to make a 4th stop as well. But we're just going to have to see. I mean, the way Josh Crash played his strategy was actually a really good idea because you're out there on fresher tires while all the other guys have worn tires, and you're able to gain a lot of ground on them. So that's why I suggested earlier that guys like Hoffman, Master, and Newworth come in, get those fresh tires, and gain on Crash. But the opposite happened. Crash is going to be the guy who closes in on Newworth and Hoffman and all those guys, and he's going to be the guy that gets a pretty good advantage on them. But Josh Crash will most likely be the leader once this thing cycles out, if it happens to cycle out. Master, Newworth, and Hoffman are still out there. I don't know if they're going to try to stretch it or what. Thing is, if they are going to try to stretch it, that means that Whitlock and Bartow should be good to go. But then again, we have 9 laps to go. I mean, 9 laps here is like, that's like, oh, I don't know. That's about 30 miles, possibly. Yeah, that's about 30 miles. Maybe like 25 miles. You got 25 miles on the low tank of fuel you have. That's going to be kind of a hard thing to do. Anyway, trying to find Master here, and there he is in the 45. Currently running in the lead. Newworth is 2nd. Hoffman is 3rd. Not much change going on up front. But the question is, will these guys have to come in to the pit lane before this thing is done? The answer is a 99% yes. There's still that 1% chance that they might have to, be able to stay out, but never mind, there they go. And I think that's going to seal it for Josh Crash. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get around that 56 again. Anyways, Reagan Whitlock will relinquish the lead in the number 5. I do not believe Whitlock has led a lap yet in this race, so he will not get any bonus points if he does not lead a lap. Bartow also staying out with them. And Kinghart is in. There's Josh Crash. This might be a little bit closer than we thought. Possibly. Oh, it is! Look at this! Master's going to be close here to Josh Crash. Oh, is he going to clear him? They're side by side for the lead. This thing is not over. Master might get around the 56 here. He is going to be close. Master has a shot at winning this race. Christian Master running second, not too far behind the 56. The 45, he's going to have slightly fresher tires than Josh Crash as well. Crash has been on these tires for quite a few laps already, while Master has new tires. Of course, he's got to get some heat in those tires, but he might be able to close up the Crash before this thing is done. We're just going to have to see. Anyways, Whitlock is the leader in the number 5. Is he going to come in this time? Yes, he is. Bartow will stay out. And Bartow is going to lead lap 69. 7 laps to go here at Riverside in the 90 minutes of Riverside. And this thing's going to be pretty interesting. Master is not that far behind. And Josh Crash, when Michael DeFeo had his problem, he thought he had it. Chris Master, he had to get those heat in the tires, and because of that, he did lose a little bit of ground there on Josh Crash. But the thing is, this is about the closest we have seen the lead officially for quite a while in this race, and it is possible Master could close up the Josh Crash. Neuwirth, he's third, Hoffman's fourth, pretty much the same way they came in. Marty Johnson's going to end up in 5th, I do believe. And even Whitlock's going to get a good run here in the number 5. Good job by those guys there. But Josh Crash, he's got to hold off Christian Master here. He actually did a good job that last lap. He really gained on Master that last lap, so it might not be near as close as I thought it would be. But Master came close to possibly getting around him there, but he just couldn't do it as he did not have the heat in his tires to race with Josh Crash. Crash has already been out there for quite a few laps. I mean, he's good to go. He's already got the heat in his tires. There's nothing to worry about. Now, Master does have the fresher tires now, and I think Master will be going a little bit faster than Crash here. But we're just going to have to see. Did Trey Bartow come in? Yes, he did. And Bartow is not going to come close to beating Josh Crash. So this is it. With now 5 laps to go in this 90-minute race, we've gotten 70 laps in. 70 laps in. Actually, it's 6 laps to go here at Riverside. It's about it's less than 2 seconds between Master and Crash. Herja Larvin Alonso is up here. If Josh Crash hits this lap traffic, it could possibly slow him down, or even worse, could get him involved in the crash. Of course, he does not want to do what his name suggests. Master is closing in. I can tell you that right now. Master has the fresher tires. He is closing in on this 56. But it might only be slightly. And that might be good enough for Josh Crash to get this victory. We're just going to have to see. I think Alonso is going fast enough that Josh Crash is not going to get into him here. But the question is anybody going to come off the pit road and get into the way of Josh Crash? We're just going to have to see. It's 5 laps to go in the 90 minutes of Riverside here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. Josh Crash trying to win the first race of the season. He leads that lap. He has a 1.98 second lead on Christian Master. Master's a little too far behind, I think, to get to him. But Josh Crash would not have won this race if it weren't for Michael DeFeo crashing while trying to get around Cody Smart and Jacob Holmes earlier on in this one. And that is what is going to give this 56 the victory if he can hold off this 45. Does not look like anybody's going to get in the way here of the 56. I think this 56 is going to get the win. But we're just going to have to see. I think he might be pulling away from Master here. I mean, it's not, you know, Master's definitely not closing in fast enough to get the win. I know that much. But nonetheless, you got to hand it to Christian Master. Having a great day here in the number 45. He's going to get a lot of points here as we head into Watkins Glen for this championship. And a good day for the A&W machine there. Probably going to come home with a second place finish here in this one. Max North going to probably come home with a third place finish. Caleb Hockman, the highest driver in the field who has not led a lap in this race. He's going to be fourth. And Marty Johnson, a good story here. He might actually finish in sixth as he's battling with Reagan Whitlock for position there. Whoa, that was close. But remember, Johnson, he started 39th for this race. And it looks like he might finish in the top 5. Crash did pull away from Master that last lap. It's looking good for the 56 right now. I do not believe Crash is going to have to come in again. I think he's pretty good to go to the end. He did come in pretty early, but I think we're all good to go. And I think it's going to be this 56 in victory lane. And you got to see, he's not catching up to any of these lapped cars. Now, then again, you never know when a slower lapped car could slow down and get in the way. But I do believe that Josh Crash is going to be able to pull it off. But we're just going to have to see. It's 3 laps to go here at Riverside. Will Josh Crash be able to hold Master off? Or will Master have a miracle in the 45? I think the differential was the same time as it was last lap. So these guys are racing identical laps right now. So that's good news for Josh Crash. I do believe, however, that he is going to catch up to Ryder Barnes. Josh Crash will catch up to Ryder Barnes here in this 55. This 55 is going slow enough that the 56 is going to catch up to him. So he might possibly get in the way. It's possible that the 56 could even get to Herja Larv and Alonso before this thing is done. So those lapped guys could get in the way of Josh Crash, which might be an advantage for Christian Master. But we're just going to have to see. But a long race here at the Riverside International Raceway. And while it might not be too climatic, kind of anticlimactic here, but it still was a great race nonetheless. And in these endurance races, I mean, winning these things is a hard thing to do. While it might seem like this guy, Josh Crash, has been in the top 5 all race long, I mean, he's been pretty dominant. Still, it's a tough thing to win this thing. Of course, we still have 2 laps to go. It's not over yet for Josh Crash. But I don't think anybody's going to get to him. But still, this was not an easy win. It's not an easy thing to finish one of these things. And you got to hand it to these guys for finishing. And yes, this 55 might get in the way of this 56. This thing is not over yet. I think he's going to get around him just fine, and he will. So Crash getting around Ryder Barnes just okay. I don't think Crash is going to catch up to Herja Larv and Alonso. And I do believe Josh Crash will get this victory here today at Riverside, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I mean, Master has not been able to close up to him at all, and I thought he was going to be close when he came off the pit road there. I mean, he was right on him coming off the pit lane, but it is possible that Christian Master could have possibly taken only 2 tires, so that might be why. And that two-tire strategy trying to get the Josh Crash there, but did not work out for him. It's been 75 laps. Josh Crash takes the white flag here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. He opened up 2 more tenths of a second on Christian Master that last lap, and this thing, only unless something freak happens on the racetrack, this thing is going to go to Josh Crash in the 56. It's been a fun race here at the Riverside International Raceway. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Even though it really wasn't the most exciting of races we've ever had, you know what? That's just the way it is. These endurance races aren't really necessarily like NASCAR races. You got to really look and dig deep into why these races are fun to watch. And it's because of the strategy. It's because of all that happened, and it's because of that possible freak thing that could happen to the leader, like what happened to Michael DeFeo. It's a tough thing to win these things, and Josh Crash should really be proud of this one. Only a couple more corners to go. And the number 56 of Josh Crash is going to come home with the victory here in the 90 minutes of Riverside. Give it to Josh Crash. He wins here in Riverside, California. And he is the points leader here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. He beats Christian Master in the opening event by 2.34 seconds. Master's going to finish second. Max Neuwirth, third. Caleb Hoffman, fourth. Reagan Whitlock was able to get around Marty Johnson there for fifth place. Johnson from 39th to 6th. Great run for Johnson. Noah Cars is in 7th place. William Brock in 8th. Trey Bartow and the 7 of Aiden Shepard. Started last place. He's going to finish in the top 10. Great job by those guys there. But there's your winner. Josh Crash in the number 56 gets it done here at the Riverside International Raceway. And he will be the points leader heading into Watkins Glen. So what Josh Crash needs to do for Watkins Glen is qualify just as good as he did here at Riverside. Remember, Josh Crash, he started 4th for this race. Master started 3rd, and Neuwirth started on the pole. The top 3 finishers all started in the top 4 for this race. Now, it might not necessarily be like that for Watkins Glen. Of course, these racetracks are much different from each other. But when we get to Watkins Glen, it is very possible that Josh Crash would have to start up front if he wants to keep that points lead, because this is just the first race of the season. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when we get to Watkins Glen. Of course, that's going to be a while from now, October 29th, when that race is going to go. So it's going to be a while before we get to another race here in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this race just as much as I did. It took a long time for me to record it, but hey, I enjoyed it. And I think Josh Crash did as well. You should really be proud of this win, because this is an endurance race, and these races are tough. These are tough races to win. He just went 76 laps around a road course and did a pretty good job at it. But Christian Master finishing second, Max Neuwirth, Caleb Hoffman, Reagan Whitlock, Marty Johnson, Noah Cars, William Brock, Trey Bartow, and Aiden Shepard, the top 10 in this one. 31 drivers were able to finish this one here today. 17 finishing on the lead lap. Nathan Ormond, Jacob Holmes, Nick Smith, Jonathan Fitzwater, Chris Dodd, Alex Russell, Cameron Black, Davey Johnson, Jonathan King, John Arndt, and Noah Clifton all failing to finish. Alex Russell, Cameron Black, Davey Johnson, Jonathan King, John Arndt, and Noah Clifton are possibly on the verge of not making it to the Watkins Glen race, because they're going to have to qualify their way in due to the fact that they did not finish in the top 36. But everybody from Chris Dodd on up will be racing at Watkins Glen on October 29th, so they have nothing to worry about there. Anyways, great race here at Riverside. I mean, I know it might have been boring to some of you guys, but this is endurance racing here, guys. And this is a very strategic kind of racing, and that's where the excitement comes. Most of the races we do here on NAPAFan, that is pure racing. There's not really much strategy involved in it. This, however, does, and we really saw that strategy play out with Michael DeFeo coming in earlier than everybody else, and in the end, Josh Crash coming in earlier, getting those fresher tires, getting the advantage than everybody else, and sealing the deal for him here at Riverside, and that's what he did in that number 56. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Here are the points for the Kubota Sports Car Championship. Of course, you guys probably have already figured out how the point system works now. Of course, I probably already made a video telling you guys how I do it, or how I will do it, I should say. But anyways, that is it for me. Congratulations to Josh Crash for getting the victory. And yeah, I'll see you guys October 29th for the next race at Watkins Glen International for the 2 hours at the Glen. That should be a good one there, that very fast racetrack. That racetrack might be a little bit sketchy with the pit stops, because sometimes they can't really get into that pit road too well. We're just going to have to see how it all plays out there. This one played out pretty nicely for Josh Crash, and he gets the victory here in the Riverside International Raceway. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Cities will burn, the end is come, paradise is lost, we wonder what we've done. Riches rust, the iron fist crashes down on the powerless, but hope can live again.
And one more thing before this video video is complete. Just want to let you guys know, you probably will not be seeing any videos until September 24th when I upload the first race in the Turkey Hill Series season number 3. Of course, you know, school started for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite a bit of work, so I just want to make sure I'm ready and get all focused on that. So yeah, I'll see you guys September 24th for the next race of the Turkey Hill Series. Until then, you know, I'm going to be taking a break. I don't think you guys are really going to be seeing many videos until then. You might not see anything until then, but hey, you know what? I hope you guys go find somebody else to watch. I mean, there are a lot of other great Inter 2003 leagues out there, especially in the NRLOA, and go ahead and watch those guys for now. I mean, I know you guys love me. I know you guys love me, but I had to take a break here, guys, and that's just the way it is. So God bless you all. Hope you guys enjoy the break. I mean, I don't know if you do or not, but maybe it's a good thing they don't hear my voice for a while. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys September 24th for the first race in Season 3 of the Turkey Hill Series.